Hi everyone, it's Sherry. I hope that you're having a great day. Well, I have been spending some time today crafting. Surprise, surprise. It seems to be what I spend most of my time doing these days. And I am still doing my Love Note series, but I thought I would just take a break and integrate some projects for your child's teachers for Valentine's Day, just some appreciation gifts. And this one I think is a very creative and lovely way to show appreciation to your child's teacher. What it is, it's a clipboard, but it's also a dry erase board. And the way that I achieved this is I started with a chipboard base, and then on top of that, I put some black paper, and then I laid down a sheet of regular notebook paper, and I cut the notebook paper down just a little bit so that it would fit on this 8.5 by 11 inch piece of chipboard. And so what I did after that was I placed a piece of acetate on top of it, and that now turns this into a dry erase board. So it's a clipboard, but it's also a dry erase board, and having the lined paper as the backing for this allows the teacher to be able to make notes in a very straight and legible way, and then to be able to go back and erase those notes and take fresh notes. And then what I did here in the corner is I added a little corner pocket, and the corner pocket can be used to hold cards, gift cards, tags, whatever you want to put in here to gift to the teacher. And this particular clipboard is a more feminine one, so I thought today's project I would make it the masculine version of this clipboard. So let's get started. And I'll set this one to the side. What you're going to need to start with is a piece of chipboard, and I'm using a medium weight, and you can also use a heavy weight for this. You need a piece that measures 8.5 by 11, and then we need to mount that chipboard to some cardstock. So I'm using this 12 by 12 piece of cardstock from We Are Memory Keepers, and I want this piece to be underneath or on top, so I'm just going to flip it over, and then on this side I will place my glue and then lay that chipboard down. And I'm going to be fairly generous with the glue because the medium weight chipboard can handle a fair amount of glue without warping. Okay, and then let's just pick this up, flip it over, and I'll just come over to the edge. That'll save me some cutting. And then I'm going to turn it over so that I can come back in with my paper towel and just spread that glue. And then I'm going to take my scissors and just trim off this excess. And my lighting for this video might appear to be a little bit dark because of the glare from the acetate. I turned off one of the lights that was really producing the most glare. So if it appears dark, that's the reason why. And then I'm just going to fold and train my paper to be able to bend it. Alrighty, and now what I'll do is I'll come back and I'll miter cut my corners. And then I need to go ahead and fold over these flaps here. And I'm going to try to get these down as nice and tight as I can. I'm going to turn this one around and do the same thing over here. And in the description box, I will list links for what I'm using on this project. All right. Let's go ahead and get this smoothed down. Get that glue worked in. You can use tape on this as well. I'm just choosing to use glue, but you can most certainly use tape. Okay, so at this point, what I would ordinarily do is go ahead and add the back liner to this, but I'm not going to do that because I'll be placing some mini brads. So I'll add the mini brads first, and the liner will actually be one of the last things that I place on here. So the next thing that I need to do is I need to place my notebook paper down. And there are several ways that you can do this. You can use a spray mount adhesive to spray the back of it and then lay it down. You can use glue, but you have to spread the glue very thin so that it won't show through the paper and have those little glue lines that'll sometimes show. Or you can use a sticker maker, which is what I'm using for this, but there are other options that you guys have that you can use to be able to make this as well. So the way that my sticker maker works is I simply take the paper and run it through the machine, and it adds that sticker backing to it. And then all I have to do is take off the protector, the plastic protector sheet that also comes out with it. And then there's my paper on the sticker sheet. So all I'm going to do at this point is pull off just a little bit, and that'll just make it easier for me to work with and lay it down. So I'm going to start with about this much removed, and then I will come up to the top, and I'm going to pull this towards me for just a second so that I can get it started, and then I'll show you what I'm doing. Okay, so I tried to lay it as straight as I could at the top so that I could start releasing the backer sheet and then just guiding the paper down. If you've ever done wallpapering, this is a similar technique. So all I'm doing is just pulling it down and smoothing it down as I come. There. So now I've got my paper on top of that black border sheet that I put down. And the paper size that I cut for the lined paper, it measures 8 1/4 by 10 3/4. So if you want to have a border, then you might want to cut your paper using that measurement. And like I said, the measurement for this will be in the description box. And then to get the dry erase effect, what I did was I took a piece of 8 3/8 by 10 7/8 sheet of acetate, and I am just lining it up because it will not go, it is not an edge-to-edge cut. I want it to have just a little bit of spacing. So now that I've got it lined up, what I'm going to do is very gently pick it up, and I am going to just use this clip to hold it down while I punch in the holes for the brads. And I'm using tissue paper on this so that the clips that I'm using don't dig into the acetate. So all I'm going to do is go from corner to corner and punch some holes. And having the clips there just helps to hold that acetate in place also. Because as you know, if you've worked with it, it's very slippery and it will move. Okay. Let's come up here to the top, place this one. And then we'll place this one. Okay, and now we can place some mini brads. I'm going to put 3 of them down right now, and then I'll add the 4th after I do a decorative finish on this. So I'm going to just put these down, open them up. Oh, I can remove this now. And the clips that I just used, I got those at Dollar Tree about 4 or 5 years ago, so I won't have a description for those because I don't know if Dollar Tree still has them or not, but I will notate in there that I got them from the Dollar Tree. Okay, so now we've got our acetate down, and as it stands right now, we do have a functioning dry erase board. But of course we want to just decorate that a little bit, and the way that I'm going to do that to give it a more masculine feel is I chose these 2 pieces of paper. So I have got this piece, which is a polka dot piece, and then this piece, which is more of an argyle look. So what I'm going to do is use my cutter, and I am going to cut this on the diagonal. So let me grab my cutter. Okay, so I have my cutter, and all I'm going to do is turn this and line up these 2 points. So what I'm doing is putting it in so that this point and this point are in position to be cut. So I'll end up with this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to glue these 2 pieces together because I want to have the added strength of just doubling up on those pieces. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue. So I'm just going to layer this on top of this. And then I have this strip, which measures 2 by 8. And my piece for the pocket measured 4 by 6. And then I cut it in half on a diagonal angle. And all I'm going to do is take this piece on the polka dot side, and I'm just going to fold it in half. Add some glue. To both sides. Okay, and the way that I am going to put this down is I am going to take it and place it over here. So I want to take this and just place it over the top so that when I lay it here, it's got that nice look to it. Not feminine at all. And all I'm doing is just trimming off this excess. Okay, so in order for me to place it down, I'm going to do that with just plain old glue. And I'm just going to run glue along this side and then the bottom. I don't run any glue anywhere else, otherwise I don't have a pocket. Okay, so let's place that right here in the corner. I'm going to get my paper towel and wipe away any excess glue that might be on the acetate. And then I'll come back in and just work this down. And then I'm going to take one of my clips and place it right there. And then I'll take the other clip and place it right here. And I don't have to worry about using the paper towel now because I have already covered that part of the acetate. So now what I'm going to do is come back to the back side and go back through that hole that I punched so that I can make it through the paper on the front. And now I can place my fourth brad. I think it's looking pretty cute so far. And guys, if you're liking this project, please hit the like button. I would really appreciate it. And if you aren't a subscriber, I would love to have you as one. So I'd also like for you to hit that subscriber button. I'd greatly appreciate that as well. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and remove my clips because the Artist Glitter Glue is a fast drying glue. So as you can see, we've got this already done. Now I can flip it over and place down the piece for the backing. And what I chose is, I'm going to use this side, I think, because it's tools. So it's got saws and hammers and drills and everything on it, which makes it really masculine. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out a piece of this paper and then place it on the back. And this sheet will measure 8 1/4 by 10 3/4. So let me cut this out and we'll go ahead and put it down. So we're doing 10 3/4. By 8 1/4. this out of the way. And that's going to go on there just like that. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to place a lot of glue here and along the top. And I'm being very generous in the corners because I definitely need those brads to be covered. Ordinarily, I would use hot glue for this, but I have a large surface that I need to cover. So I am using wet glue. Normally, you'll see me use hot glue anytime I'm placing brads, but I really can't do that here because of the amount of space that I've got to cover, and the hot glue would dry too quickly to allow for me to be able to do that. So it is wet glue this time. And all I'm doing is just going around and working that glue in. And I'm just going to keep working it until I have that glue coming out of all four sides of this board, because then I'll know that the brads are stuck. There we go. And I'm going to bring the other one back up so you guys can see. On this one, I had this type of a bull clip. I don't have that. I'm out of those. Can't believe I let myself run out. So I am going to be using these clips. And I think I got these from Target. I don't know because it's been a while since I bought them. So I really can't say for absolute certain that I got this from Target. But all you need is some type of a clip to hold down your papers. So what I'm using is I'm using E6000 as the glue for this. So all I'm going to do is try to find my center point. And I'll have to leave this one alone for a while because it is on plastic and it will take the E6000 a while to set up. So here's what we have. We have got this really cute, really fun, masculine looking clipboard. And what I'm going to do, because I really don't want to attempt to bling this out in any way because it is for a man, I am going to just put a little ticket on here, but I am going to decorate that ticket using the mini brad, so that'll give it just a more complete and finished look to it. So all I'm doing is adding brads to this little ticket that was in a pack of ephemera that I had. And let's put this one down, and I will put this down with hot glue because it's small. Okay, so we can place this right here, and I think that is just going to be darling. Place that right there. How cute is that? I mean, it's simple, but it is so cute. So then I'm going to tuck in some of the little bear stickers, and I will bring the other one back up here so that you can see it as well. I was debating whether or not to add this little paper doll figure, but I do think I want her tucked in there because I think she's very cute. So here are the two dry erase boards. I hope that you guys will give this project a try. It really is fun, and it's super cute and super easy. So have fun trying it, and I will chat with you later. Bye.